Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this week's edition of the Milford Informer. I am your host, Tim Coette. As always, we come to you from our beautiful Home Field Credit Union Studio B, and tonight we have a lot to get to. We have details on a major Milford event that is just 2 short weeks away, and we also have a pair of recent town events that we will recap for you as well. Let's show you all the details in tonight's Top Stories Rundown. Tonight, we will get you ready for the 3rd annual Celebrate Milford as we sit down with committee members Joe Marias, Ray Osier, and Terenzio Volpicelli. Also tonight, we'll provide a recap of last month's Best Buddies Sweetheart Pageant, complete with interviews and behind-the-scenes footage. And also tonight, see how members of the community came together last weekend to honor Milford's fallen heroes from the Vietnam War. Celebrate Milford has very quickly become one of the most anticipated annual events in the community. This year marks the 3rd go-around for Celebrate Milford, and earlier this week I was happy to be joined by 3 of the committee members that help organize the event to find out what residents can expect at this year's Celebrate Milford. And we were very happy to be joined on the Milford Informer this week by 3 committee members helping to spearhead the much-anticipated 3rd annual Celebrate Milford. We have with us this week Joe Marias, Ray Osier, and Terenzio Volpicelli. Gentlemen, first of all, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thanks for having us.
As I mentioned, the 3rd annual Celebrate Milford. So this has been something, it kind of started out 2 years ago as a one-off event, and just immediately it seemed like the feedback from the community was overwhelming. I'll open it up with what exactly has the feedback been that you guys have gotten over the last couple of years since this event has been going on?
It's been overwhelmingly positive. That first year really exceeded all of our expectations. We had nearly 100 vendors. Estimates were around 10,000. Yeah, the weather helped a lot. The estimates were around 10,000 visitors. It was a family-friendly event. Lots of activities, whether it's music, the Kid Zone, the beer garden, and we learned a lot from that first year, and we carried that over to last year. And we learned a lot from last year's experience as well. So we're really looking forward to taking it to the next level this year.
It's a great way to kick off the spring too.
Yeah.
And Ray, I know you and I on the radio side of things sometimes have a chance to go out into other communities, and other communities have been having events like this for years and years. So to finally have something like this in Milford, where there's so much history, there's so many vendors, there's so many organizations to come out and experience an event like this, really seemed like a no-brainer to bring something like this to this town.
Absolutely, and I was going to talk about that. The fact that Medway Pride Day happens every year. They've done a great job. We learned a lot from those events as well. I think Hopedale Oktoberfest was a big help for us. The way Tom McGovern ran that. I think at the beginning we talked to Tom a little bit, and he helped guide us through, and then we developed what we developed, and luckily it worked. So 3rd year, not bad.
And I know that it's certainly not something that gets organized just in a matter of weeks. Terenzio, what is the planning that goes into this kind of event? Is it almost a year-round thing at this point to keep things organized and start to collect vendors and that sort of thing?
Well, it really starts almost at the conclusion of the previous year's event. We get together, we do a little brainstorming session, what worked well, what didn't work well. We have a vendor sponsor appreciation night, and then we take about 2 months off to decompress. And then it's right back at it. So we're probably starting up in October with very preliminary meetings, scheduling out a handful of things. By December, we've got our collateral all pulled together, all our marketing literature, going to meet with some of the sponsors. And January, February, March, April, it's full speed ahead.
And I think, not officially, but I think it's that night in the beer garden where ideas come into play, and we talk a little bit. And then take the time off.
And some tall tales, too.
It's a tall tales, yeah.
Yeah, and we have a core group in the committee of about 10 members that are working year-round, but we've also got a lot of support from the community as a whole. From the town side, the police department, the Board of Health, the fire department have all been great resources for us. And then obviously all the volunteers that step forward for the event. And we have over 100 volunteers every year that help out, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing having the chance to wander around there a bit the last 2 years. The amount of the staff shirts that you see wandering around, the people that come together to help just keep the event running smoothly. It's great to see. It's great to see the people turn out for the event, but the amount of people in the community that come to help make it the success that it's become it's probably been exciting for you guys to see that develop.
Everyone wants to be a part of it, which is nice, and they come to us. We don't have to see. We are looking for more volunteers, but for the most part, they come to us, which is very nice. And we thank the community for helping out. We can only do so much, but the day of really comes down to the volunteers.
Yeah.
And I know that you've already got a great base of volunteers going already, but for people out there who want to get involved in this year's event, there's still time to get in touch. So you're encouraged to head over to celebratemilford.com. That's the website for the event. A lot of great information on there, but opportunities to volunteer. You can find everything that you need right there. And you guys also have a pretty comprehensive list of sort of the itinerary of events for the day. So I want to go through some of the highlights for what people can expect at the event this year. It all starts once again with a youth parade going from 10 o'clock to 10:30 a.m. going from Stacy Middle School to Memorial School, and again, what a great way, Joe, to start off the day.
Yeah, it really is. It sets the tone for the entire day. So we have the high school marching band, the Stacy marching band. All local youth organizations are encouraged to participate. So we have the Special Olympics, the Scouts, the youth sports, but we also open it up to any for-profit organizations. So if there are any dance studios that want to get involved and want to participate, or local daycares that want to participate, they're more than welcome to. It's just an opportunity to get all the kids together. They really enjoy marching in the parade, and it's just a great way to start the day off.
And then everything gets going from there. An official start to the day at 10:30 over at the Town Park grandstand, or bandstand, I should say. And then that's when the musical acts take over, Ray. And I was so impressed to see the list over on the website all day long, just live performance after live performance from start to finish of the day.
Yeah, it's great. It's mostly bands who are either from Milford, perform a lot in Milford, or have Milford ties. I think that was really important when I was developing the calendar, was let's get people in here that mean something to Milford, and Milford means something to them. But before we start the music, is it Stacy Middle School that's going to perform some patriotic songs? So that's going to be kind of the official kickoff, to kick the music off.
Oh, that's great.
And then the day itself. And then, just a band after band after band, acoustic, rock. Let me see, I got the list here. But it's mostly acoustic and rock. We've got some originals. We got some covers. We got some... I guess some famous town people like Jim Legore, our school committee member. He's in one of the bands. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And that's really exciting. And on top of that, things running really for most of the day. You have the Kids Zone again, which is going to go from 11 o'clock all the way until 6 o'clock. And Terenzio, the Kids Zone has even been beefed up. It's been a tremendous place the last couple of years, but even bigger and better for this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've added the rock and roll racing element to this Kids Zone this year. Essentially, they're larger scale model cars, and for the same admission price of $5 per child, they get to enjoy all the bouncy castles, the inflatable soccer, which was a huge success, the inflatable sumo, which I'm dying to get in there myself, and this rock and roll racing. And the board, we were originally talking about $10 per head per child for this admission, but a couple weeks ago we decided we had the sponsorships, and let's get back to the community, so we brought it down to $5 per head, which is a stellar deal.
Oh, that is excellent. And of course, the much anticipated beer garden will be open from noon until 8 p.m. And then one of the new additions that I absolutely had to ask you guys about was the porchetta competition. So that I saw listed on the website. It's happening from noon until 1 o'clock. Tell us a little bit about what people can expect there.
Well, we have amateur chefs from around the area who have stepped up to showcase their talents as far as porchetta cooking goes. And, obviously porchetta is a staple here in Milford. And I think it was Joe Soares that came up with the idea. So I think we have 8 or 9 people. They'll bring their porchetta with them. They'll slice it up in little bits. You walk through the line, you taste them all, and they'll all be numbered. You choose the number you liked the best, and that person will be crowned king of the porchetta. And it's all guys, so I could say king. We had some women that could be queen too, but all guys. So king of the porchetta.
Oh, we have a stellar trophy for them too.
Do we?
Oh,
I haven't seen it yet.
That is fantastic. So another just little new addition this year to be excited about. You've got the dunk tank going from 1 to 3 o'clock, and the event overall just goes all day long until 8 o'clock all around Town Park. The vendors have been phenomenal these last couple of years, but from
Keep
what I
getting
hear,
more and more.
even more than last year. Is that right?
That is.
Yeah, we're up to 140 vendors
Wow.
right now, which is amazing.
And more than half of them are new vendors too, and they're coming from far away. We have somebody coming in from New York City.
Wow.
You know.
So just so much to look forward to. And another important thing to point out is the net proceeds that you guys raise for the event given back to the community. And I was just astounded by this number. $18,000 from last year's event went towards not-for-profit organizations throughout Milford. What an unbelievable way to give back to the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, the intent is to bring the community together in a positive way. And if we're able to raise some money to give back, we certainly want to do that. So, any profits that we generate this year will go back to local nonprofit organizations. One in particular that we're focused on is in the beer garden. The bartenders have a tip challenge. So the bartender that raises the most tips is able to keep half the tips, and then the other half gets donated. And this year, that donation is going to go to the newly formed Milford Education Foundation. And then any additional profits we raise above and beyond that, at some point the committee will get together and decide what to do with those proceeds.
Oh, that's absolutely outstanding. So just any way you slice it, what a great day it's going to be. And again, the third annual Celebrate Milford, it's coming up on Saturday, May 19th, all around Town Park. The youth parade gets underway at 10 o'clock, full activities throughout the day, all the way until 8 o'clock. So much for everybody. And we've been graced with some good weather the last couple of years. Hopefully we'll have that again this year. Hopefully Mother Nature will agree with us, but it should be just a terrific day again. And so many new things to look forward to as well. So we can't wait to be part of it as well. And in the meantime, thank you guys for all the hard work that you do throughout the year to make this event happen. So again, coming up on May 19th, all around Town Park, make sure you come out and enjoy the third annual Celebrate Milford. So Joe, Ray, Terenzio, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Last month, the Milford Best Buddies program held their annual Sweetheart Pageant. As always, the event gave Best Buddies members a chance to show off their fashion and their talents in front of a packed audience. Let's take a look at a recap of this year's Best Buddies Sweetheart Pageant.
This is our 5th annual Best Buddies pageant. It's for students with intellectual disabilities. It's a moment for them to come and strut their stuff, show off their talents, have a good time. We have a significant crowd that comes and cheers them on, and it's just a great overall evening.
So all the volunteers have been working really hard to get this event together. We've been getting all the raffle baskets together and all the things that go inside of them. We've received a ton of donations from businesses around here that made these baskets so possible and so awesome. We spent the past couple days decorating the auditorium. It's very Disney themed in there. We have a lot of decorations that contribute to the theme. We've been writing the script and getting the programs together with biographies of each of the contestants. And making sure that everything's perfect. And it's also our biggest fundraiser of the year. So we're trying to make sure that it's super awesome and fun for all of the contestants and really a great night, but it's also our biggest fundraiser. So we're trying to make sure that we raise as much money as possible.
So it's fundraisers like tonight that allow us to do all this. And then people within the school as well that help. 120 staff members bought autism awareness shirts from us, which is incredible and just shows you how great of a community this is. We had the art teachers drawing the awesome posters out there. Thank you, Patty Solomon. And Jose Pinto, the photography teacher, who has done so much for making sure the program has all of our pictures in it. We have Jeremy Folster, who's in the program, who does all the video production, and we are so lucky to have administration that supports us in having Mr. Otland, the new principal, as one of our judges, and the assistant superintendent, Craig Consigli, also joining us as a judge, which is huge.
We can thank many people from just Milford, the community of Milford. We have a lot of community members helping out, like Wed New England, to Gail's Hair, to a lot of the Best Buddies members that you'll see kind of running around making sure that everything's all set up, and the people that are in the pageant are in the places that they're supposed to be in, to faculty, administration, parents. It's a big community effort.
We want to give a huge thank you to the Milford Teachers Association. They gave us a very generous donation that's going to help with a lot of the upfront costs of the pageant, so that was awesome.
So I've been involved in Best Buddies since my freshman year in high school. I signed up for this club because it seemed like a lot of fun. I had seen my friends go to the dances, and that's what sort of drew me in first. And then I just love being a part of this. So high school students and even younger kids, older kids, anyone who wants to be involved, we have dances every single month to reach out to Ms. Forget or Mr. G or anyone at the high school, and they can sort of point you in the right direction. Everyone's welcome to any of our events. So we have them constantly, and they're super inclusive, super open, and they're really, really fun. So coming to things like that, keeping your ears open. We have lots of other fundraising opportunities, so just being aware of those. And then coming to events like this, our pageant is open to the whole community. It's a really big night for us and for the town. So it's a great thing to be a part of.
This year's Disney theme, when the kids heard about Disney, they flipped out, and that was the perfect theme for this year. So we have them dressing up as Disney characters when they come out for their theme wear, and a lot of like the acts that you'll see will be Disney themed music. You'll hear the background music, it'll be Disney themed. It's just going to be a really magical night.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for the pageant. We've been working all year for this event, and I'm so excited to see individuals perform and to see everyone strut their stuff and get up there. And it's a lot of hard work coming together, but it's also the performances that I haven't seen, and for a lot of the parents that come to watch their kids, it's such a highlight for them, and it's so nice to see them get up there and just be so confident and perform and sing, and it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited.
So as far as watching it, again, we're so lucky Milford TV is here because this is going to air later and be available for everyone, which is awesome because sometimes parents can't see their kids because they're backstage helping or someone misses it. So it's able to be shared with everyone. And if you want to get involved, you can contact me. I'm at Milford High School. My email is aforget@milfordma.com, and we always would love help in any way.
This past weekend, members of the VFW, town officials, and residents all gathered at the Italian-American Veterans Hall for a ceremony dedicated to the memory of Milford's fallen heroes from the Vietnam War. Milford TV members Caitlin Mobilia and Jerry Maglita traveled out to the event to ask those in attendance why it is important to commemorate these Milford heroes.
So what can we do to support these veterans?
So, for what we're talking about today and where we're here today, for Vietnam veterans is just thank them. They never were thanked. And that's one thing the Sergeant Major and I think the whole country's doing with this 50th commemoration is thanking these young men and women who went away. Some were drafted, some volunteered, but they raised their right hand. They took an oath to defend the nation and fight the nation's wars. And when they came back, they weren't thanked. They were treated really badly, and this country owes them an apology, and it owes them a thanks. And I think the Sergeant Major would agree with me. Everything we have in our service today, and the way we're treated so well, came on the shoulders of these Vietnam veterans. So we owe them an awful lot, right?
Absolutely, sir. World War II veterans were considered the greatest generation, and I think that overshadowed greatly the work and the endeavors and the hardships that were shown by the Vietnam veterans. The welcome home was anything but a welcome. And, being a combat veteran myself of Central America, Panama, Afghanistan, and so many others like me who came home to a homecoming that was, for lack of better words, befit for a king. The way that these Vietnam veterans were treated when they came home was just appalling. And to answer your question, just thank them. Thank them for their service, shake their hand, and treat them as you would anybody who had defended the Constitution and our rights and freedoms.
Certificate of Honor.
to Stephanie Canby, daughter of John Kalin. On behalf of the Grateful Nation, the Department of Defense, we are proud to recognize and honor your loved one, you and your family, for the significant sacrifices made in the name of freedom and democracy over the years. Thank you for your example of grace, dignity, and courage. Our nation is forever indebted to you and extends its deepest respect and admiration.
Why is this event important to you?
Well, it's important to me, and as I spoke, I think it's very important to realize how young the 6 veterans from Milford who were killed in the Vietnam War. And to put that in perspective, as we see young people today going off to school or jobs or getting married, having children, these veterans didn't get to experience any of that, and they went over there for us and for our country and made the ultimate sacrifice. So for that, we should be eternally thankful. We should honor their memory, and we should make sure that people realize and appreciate that tremendous sacrifice.
The weather was much more cooperative this week, allowing us to make our way out to a variety of Milford spring sporting events. Let's start with baseball. With temperatures soaring into the high 80s this week, it certainly felt like baseball weather. The Scarlet Hawks baseball team welcomed in the Kelly Rex Division Attleboro Bombardiers on Wednesday, with both teams anxious for a win to help jumpstart their seasons. Could the Hawks find a way to come out on top? Let's check out the highlights. It has been a season of offensive struggles so far for the Scarlet Hawks baseball team. The boys hoped they could finally break out with the bats on Monday as they welcomed in the Attleboro Bombardiers. The Bombardier offense would face Milford sophomore Luke Rosa on the pitcher's mound. Luke has been solid so far on the year, and he would get off to a strong start in this one, finishing off a 1-2-3 first with a strikeout of Alvaro Espinal. In the bottom half of the inning, Attleboro starter Ian Hamill Kelleher would grab 2 quick outs. Kelleher would then hit Aiden Wild and would issue a walk to Tyler Almeida, giving the Hawks a 2-out scoring chance, but Matt Nickerson would end up sending a harmless pop-up to center field, forcing Milford to strand 2. Milford would have another opportunity to score in the second inning. Rosa would get the rally started with a leadoff single, and then Justin Appleby would sacrifice him into scoring position, giving an RBI chance to the number 8 hitter Matt Swanson. And out to the parking lot with pretty good velocity, so you park at your own risk if you park close to field level. This ball is hit back up the middle. That's through for a base hit. Coach Dion going to wave the runner around from third base. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it is there in time to get the out. Alvaro Espinal with an excellent throw from shallow center field. Later in the inning, Milford would place 2 in scoring position with 2 outs, but once again, Kelleher would induce an inning-ending pop-out. We'd see more frustration for the Hawks in the third. Aiden Wild would reach on an infield single, and Nickerson would reach on an error. The two would find themselves at second and third with 2 outs and Luke Rosa at the dish. This time, Ian Kelleher would get the swinging strike 3 from the sophomore, making it 6 runners stranded in the first 3 innings for the Scarlet Hawks. On the mound, Rosa would continue to hold the Attleboro bats quiet over the early innings. The Bombardiers would produce just their first hit of the game to lead off the top of the 4th. The runner would steal second and would then advance to third on a groundout, giving Attleboro a prime chance to take the lead. The next batter, Troy Van Valley, would hit a sharp grounder to short, but with the infield in, Matt Shaver is able to make a great backhanded stab, freezing the runner before getting the out at first. Then with 2 strikes on the next hitter, the pitch from Rosa would be low. It would kick just a few feet towards first base, but Almeida couldn't track it down before the runner from third would score, breaking the deadlock and giving the visitors a 1-0 lead. It turned out that lead would not last long. With a Milford runner at third and 2 outs in the 4th, this time it's Attleboro's catcher Kirby, who can't handle the pitch from Kelleher. It goes to the backstop, and Justin Appleby would score to tie the game. Into the top of the 5th now, with Rosa starting to tire on the mound, Attleboro would load the bases. Troy Van Valley would then drive a pitch deep enough to right for the runner from third to come home. It would be the only run Attleboro would score in the inning. With Milford back in a 1-run deficit, they'd look to rally as they came to the plate in the 6th. And now hits This one in the air out to left field. This is deep, well over the head of James Weir, and it will be extra bases for Matt Swanson, who will cruise into second base with a one-out double. The next pitch is grounded to shortstop. The runner takes off for third. Bit of a double clutch for the shortstop, Candialis, and now throws it away, and in from third base to score comes Matt Swanson, and this game once again tied up now at 2-2. Thanks to good work out of the bullpen by Nick Marcolini, the game would remain tied heading into the bottom of the 7th. Milford would immediately receive a base runner thanks to another hit by pitch by Aiden Wild. Tyler Almeida would then find a pitch he could handle, driving it out to right center, but watch Alvaro Espinal as he closes in and makes a beautiful sliding catch. Attleboro would get more good work out of Espinal later in the inning. Matt Nickerson would single out to left center. Wild would try to go first to third, but Espinal's throw into third base would be right on the money to get Wild for the second out. Milford would be unable to score despite having 3 batters reach base in the inning, and this game would head into extra frames. Attleboro would place 2 runners aboard in the top half of the 8th, but Marcolini would wriggle his way out of the jam, ending the inning on this fly ball to center that was juggled but caught by Appleby to send us on to the bottom of the inning, still tied at 2. After pitching 3 innings of scoreless relief, Marcolini would work a 1-out walk in the 8th that would finally bring an end to the day for starter Ian Kelleher. John Candialis would take over in relief. Candialis would see Marcolini steal second before Matt Shaver would reach on an infield single, placing the winning run at third with 1 out for sophomore Colby Pyers. Trying to find one that he can drive. Runner takes off for second base as this ball is hit in the air out to left field. Settling underneath is where the runner tags at third base. Here comes the throw to the plate. The tag is not in time. Sliding in safely with the game-winning run is Nick Marcolini, and Milford storms the field. They win it on a walk-off sacrifice fly by Colby Pyers, just barely. Milford finds a way to get it done in extra innings. They earn their second victory of the year as they beat the Attleboro Bombardiers by a final score of 3-2. So the Hawks do indeed grab their second victory of the season. They hope to produce their first winning streak of the year today as the team travels to Mansfield. As for the Milford softball team, they were forced to sacrifice a home game back on Tuesday in order to finally get back on the field after an 8-day weather-induced layoff. The team ended up traveling to Oliver Ames, where they earned a 12-0 Mercy Rule win, their 4th straight Mercy Rule victory. The girls followed up that win with a 12-3 victory on the road against Attleboro on Wednesday. Milford softball is now a perfect 9-0 on the season heading into Friday's action. Milford TV was also able to capture full game coverage of the boys volleyball team in action against Medfield and girls lacrosse in a matchup against Sharon. Those games, along with all the rest of our spring sports coverage, can be found in their entirety over on the Educational Channel, and you can also view them anytime on YouTube by going over to our channel, My Milford TV. That is all the time we have this week. Next time on The Informer, we will hear from students from the MHS Hospitality and Tourism Management Program as they celebrated playing a major role in a renovation project over at the Milford Courtyard Marriott. As always, we thank you for tuning in. From all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.